If you look around social media right now, it seems like everyone is struggling to find a relationship. It's all situationships, toxic relationships, and endless advice about how to make someone obsessed with you. Till recently, I personally didn't even believe in love in our modern age. But I disagree now, because I don't think love is actually hard to find. I think we've been taught to look for the wrong thing. From Disney movies to dating shows, we've been sold the idea that love is something magical you stumble into, like a soulmate who instantly gets you. And if they don't chase you, or obsess over you, or drive you crazy, then it's not love, right? No. It's wrong. In my opinion, we confuse love with anxiety and addiction to drama. We oftentimes treat love like a game. Think about the last time that you got together with friends and someone started spilling tea about their relationship. What was the story? I bet it wasn't "we had a really nice weekend together, I really love them" kind of a talk. It was probably decoding texts, analyzing the tone, strategizing what to say next. You're either chasing or being chased. And even when you know it's toxic, it's hard to stop. You want to win, you want them to miss you, you want the validation. But real love doesn't work that way. Real love, in my opinion, isn't something you find. It's something you build. And building requires understanding why we keep falling into these patterns in the first place. So today I want to share what I learned from actual psychology research about why we chase people who can't love us back, and more importantly, how to break that cycle and find real love. It starts with understanding something called attachment styles. And before you think this is just another pop psychology trend like on TikTok, let me show you why this changes everything, okay? So what's an attachment style? An attachment style is basically the pattern your brain developed around love, closeness, and safety, usually starting in childhood. It affects how you handle intimacy, how you react to conflict, what kind of people you are drawn to, and also why you are drawn to them. You might think you're making choices based on love or maybe logic, but most of us are just acting out our attachment patterns on loop without even realizing it. So how legit is this? We're actually talking about 60 plus years of research, thousands of studies, brain scans showing different neural patterns. Researchers can literally watch a couple interact for 15 minutes and predict with scary accuracy who will stay together, who will break up, and what fights they will have, and how they will handle stress. And most people, regardless of their relationship status, fall into one of four categories. We'll get into those next. But before I talk about it, I want to explain why this matters and why you should care. Because once you understand your attachment style, everything starts to make more sense. You stop taking other people's behavior so personally, and you can predict conflict before it escalates, and you'll spend way less energy overthinking and spiraling, and you can actually pause and choose your reaction instead of getting emotionally hijacked every time. It's one of the most reliable ways to understand and predict behavior in romantic relationships. Once you understand these patterns, you can finally answer, why do I always attract the same type? Why do I sabotage good relationships? Or why can't I just be normal in love? The answer is in your attachment style, and more importantly, in learning to recognize and work with it. So what exactly are these attachment styles, and which one are you? Let's figure it out. So, as I told you, there are four attachment styles, okay? And I'm going to walk through some really common relationship scenarios and how different people react to them, like different attachment styles. So I want you to be honest with yourself, and if you recognize your patterns in one of these, that's probably your default style. And if you're still unsure by the end, don't worry, because I got a free quiz in description that will help you go even deeper to find your attachment style. So type 1, anxious, 20% of people. Let's say you just started dating someone. You're into them, it's going well, right? And then suddenly they take a little longer to respond. So your brain goes straight to, they lost interest. I messed something up. They're going to ghost me. And then you start rereading texts, ask friends if you're overreacting, and you are rehearsing what you will say when they finally respond. Maybe even sending just checking in message, even though you're pretending to be chill. And when you finally get a response, you feel relief, but it doesn't last. If this is you, you probably have an anxious attachment style. This style makes up the 20% of our population. Now we have the opposite. Let's say you're seeing someone, okay, and it's starting to get serious. They start to open up. They say how much they like you and even maybe love you. They want to talk about the future and make plans together. And instead of feeling excited, you feel suffocated. Your thoughts go to, this is moving too fast. I need space. I need to protect my independence. And you might start to pull away, or become emotionally distant, or purposely wait even longer to respond to maintain balance. And consider if this relationship is getting too serious. And you start to focus on work and hobbies instead, and start nitpicking or getting the ick over small things. If this is you, you might have an avoidant attachment style. When someone gets too close, it feels like you're losing yourself and your independence. The third one is more chaotic, and this is the one that I actually have. Okay, so you want love, you want connection, but the moment someone gives it to you, you panic. And you might create intimacy one moment and feel the urge to push them away the next, and oscillate between planning to break up and planning your wedding, and constantly test people to see if they will stay and sabotage them when they do. You're both anxious and avoidant depending on the day. If this is you, like me, you have fearful-avoidant attachment style, which is often also called disorganized style. I swear to God, my attachment style is even disorganized. Like, you want closeness, but literally expect betrayal. At this point, you might be thinking, wait, like, isn't this just like how everyone reacts? It's not. If you had a secure attachment style, which is the final attachment style, here's what would happen in your head, okay? They will respond when they can. They're probably busy with work. I'll see them tonight anyway. And what you actually do is continue with your day. Trust they will respond when available. Don't check their online status. You know, if it's urgent, you call. If not, you wait, and you feel fine either way. If this is you, you have a secure attachment. You're lucky. You trust others and don't create problems where there aren't any. Okay, maybe you're not lucky. Maybe you worked on it. Anyway, which reaction sounded most like you? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. If you're feeling unsure or you saw yourself in more than one of these, that's actually completely normal, because your attachment style can change over time, and more importantly, you might react differently with different people. Someone secure can become anxious with an extremely avoidant partner, or someone avoidant can become anxious with someone even more avoidant. So if you're not sure which one you are or feel like you're a mix, I created a quiz, which is free, that breaks down your exact attachment style, as well as a short guide on your patterns and how to improve them, as far as I know. Links in the description. Now let's look at the most common, most exhausting, and most misunderstood relationship patterns that you've been either in it or are in it right now, which is the anxious avoidant trap. Anxious and avoidant people are literally like magnetically attracted to each other. It's all over the place. And when they get together, they create this toxic loop of both people mistake for passionate love. This is basically a very common scenario in this trap. At first, it's perfect. You know, the avoidant person seems so confident and independent, and which anxious person finds it super attractive. And the anxious person gives so much attention, which makes the avoidant person feel special and loved. But then the anxious person wants more. They start talking about moving in together, saying I love you, making future plans, and that triggers the avoidant person. They feel like everything is moving too fast and getting serious, and they feel overwhelmed. So they start to pull back. They cancel plans, avoid emotional connections, and take longer to reply. And the more one pulls away, the more other one clings. Anxious person starts to chase harder, text more, tries to get reassurance, which makes the avoidant person pull back even more. Until finally, the anxious person gets exhausted and gives up, and they stop texting, they stop chasing, and then guess what happens? Now the avoidant person is suddenly interested again. They start reaching out, being affectionate, acting like they want this, you know? And the whole cycle starts over and over again, and it turns into a loop where someone gets super serious, someone runs away, and then someone tries harder, the other person gets scared, and then again and again. And this can go on for years, both people thinking the other one is the problem, both people feel misunderstood. The anxious partner feels rejected, unimportant, and too much, and the avoidant partner feels attacked, smothered, and never enough. It's not that they don't care or they don't love each other. It's just that two attachment systems triggering each other over and over again, reacting to opposite fears. One fears abandonment and the other fears being engulfed. So how do you break this cycle? How do you get out of this drama? Now you could spend years in therapy trying to become secure on your own so that you will have a healthy relationship. You know, you can learn to communicate better, regulate your emotions, and choose differently. Or you could take the shortcut that research actually shows. Date someone who's already secure. Literally, like that's the shortest way to have a healthy relationship. Now, the easiest shortcut to healing is a partner who already lives in that calm, grounded, and secure place. And I know it kind of like sounds too simple, but this is actually what happens. Let's say you are the anxious type and you date a secure one, okay? When you worry and ask if everything is okay because they seem maybe a little distant, they just reassure you. They explain they are tired from work and suggest cuddling. There's no defensiveness. And when you panic because they didn't text back for hours, they apologize, explain they were in meeting, and genuinely want to hear about your day. When you need reassuring about their feelings, they just give it freely. They ask what's making you feel insecure so that they can help, you know? They don't play games or ghost you or pull back when you get closer. And your anxious system slowly learns, oh, they're not going anywhere. Like I can actually relax and trust them. So you unlearn the need to perform constantly. And let's say you are the avoidant person and date someone secure, right? This time, when you say you need space for the weekend, they're totally fine with it. They make their own plans and let you reach out when you are ready. Like they don't constantly bombard you with messages. When you feel things are moving too fast, they respect that. They ask what pace feels comfortable for you and you have a talk. And when you start pulling away, they don't chase. They let you know that they're there when you're ready. And if you just pull back very badly, then they're not there. They don't make you feel pressured or cause drama to reassure themselves that you love them. You know, they just respect your boundaries to a healthy extent. And when that happens, your avoidance system learns, oh, intimacy doesn't mean losing myself, you know? And slowly your attachment style also starts to shift. Now at this point, you might be thinking like, okay, so if 50% of people are secure, why can't I find one? The truth is that secure people do exist, but most of the time we either don't pick them or they don't pick us. So let me explain, okay? There are 3 reasons. First of all, secure people usually date other secure people because they won't chase avoidance or put out with hot and cold behavior. If someone is emotionally available, they move on. They don't play games, they don't get pulled into drama. Like if it's dramatic, they just like leave, you know? So they tend to find each other and also stay together. Second, anxious and avoidant people are magnetically attracted to each other. Third, even if you do meet someone secure, you might reject them. You might be thinking like, why would I do that? Okay, I also want a healthy relationship. For that, I actually have a perfect example. Like a friend of mine literally went through this recently, okay? And she always dated avoidant guys and they would break up and get back together like literally every single month. And then she met someone new who was quite secure. He's such a nice guy. And she texted me like saying, Rudy, I don't know. He's actually nice, but kind of boring. Like I don't really feel the spark. Maybe there is no chemistry. The problem wasn't him. It was that she learned to associate emotional chaos with emotional depth, you know, because we've been taught that love equals anxiety, that jealousy means you care, that obsession is romance. So when someone offers you peace, your brain doesn't recognize it as love. We expect emotional chaos as a proof of love. So when it's calm, we think something is wrong. Secure people are out there. You just need to know how to find them and recognize them when you do. So how do you find a secure partner? First off, stop looking in the wrong places, okay? You're not gonna find secure people playing games on dating apps or going in on again, off again relationships. They're not the ones who are not ready for a relationship or hitting you up at 2 a.m. like, what's up? So where are they? They're out there actually having lives. Shocking. I'm literally like talking about real hobbies, not like Netflix and chill or something like that, you know? And they usually also have stable friend groups and maybe have various interests involving other people too. And yes, there might be also on dating apps too, but they're the ones that being super clear, like from the beginning, what they want. They don't like play the let's see where this goes or weird situationships. The best way to find them, in my opinion, is through mutual friendships who have healthy relationships, because secure people tend to know other secure people and they also have, you know, healthy relationship with their friends because they're secure. So how do you know when you found one? In the beginning, they make like things simple. They just clearly ask you out and they text consistently. Even if they're not a fast texter, they do reply. They just don't ghost you, you know, and you actually make plans together. And maybe some people are big texters. Like for example, I'm really bad at texting, but I mean, at the same time, I'm not really a secure person, so maybe I'm not a good example. But anyway, if they're not a big texter. I think the most important thing is that they are genuinely interested in getting to know you, not just like trying to impress you. And they're not trying to play games with like push and pull dynamics or manipulate you. But okay, you might be thinking, but it's hard to tell. So the easiest way to tell is look at their reaction when there is a small conflict or miscommunication, okay? An insecure person will ghost you, blow up you, make you guess what's wrong, make you question yourself, or maybe even play the victim. But a secure person, they will literally just say like, hey, I felt weird about this. What happened? Can we talk? Can I call you? Or let's grab a coffee and talk about it. Like something like that, you know? Shocking, right? Secure people actually do that. And also, secure people talk about their exes like normal human beings, not like villains who ruin their life. In my opinion, like talking bad about your ex is one of the biggest red flags, to be honest. Like most secure people don't do that unless their ex did something tremendously bad. Also, secure people have friendships that lasted years. They can be alone without panicking, and they're happy when good things happen to you instead of feeling threatened. They don't compete with you. I know what you're thinking right now. Okay, but like what if I meet someone like this and feel nothing? Like how do I tell the difference between no chemistry versus not being used to secure love? If you're genuinely not attracted, probably like your conversations will force you have totally different values, or you get bored when even doing fun things, then okay, you guys don't have a chemistry, okay? But if you feel calm instead of anxious, you're not obsessively checking your phone, or you can actually focus on your life and it just like feels maybe a bit easy, that's not a lack of chemistry. I think that's just like your nervous system going like, oh, where's the chaos? That's a secure person. My personal advice, obviously take it with a grain of salt, but if someone seems secure but boring, give it at least like 3 to 4 days, maybe even 5. Why? Because real chemistry, the kind of based on actual connection, not like sexual or trying to level up or that kind of thing, actually takes time to build. And also your nervous system needs to adjust to not being into the constant fight or flight mode. There's so many things you need to unlearn and relearn. So what if you are already in a relationship and neither of you is secure? Or what if you want to work on becoming more secure yourself so you can attract a secure partner, right? Like, let's talk about that. So the good news is that research shows there's definitely hope. You don't like have to break up to find a secure person. You can actually become more secure together or alone if you're single. Research shows that 20% of people naturally change their attachment style over 4 years. And that's like without even trying. Like imagine what you can do if you're actually working on it. If you're single, you actually have an advantage because there's no relationship drama distracting you from real work. If you're anxious type and single, your pattern is probably like date someone, lose yourself completely, then pull away, you chase harder, it ends badly, you're devastated for months, and then repeat the same thing. So here's what to do differently, okay? Set a no dating period, like 3 to 6 months, and then during that time, practice being okay, like not distracted, not busy, but actually alone with your thoughts. And when anxiety hits, don't text your ex or download dating apps. Sit with it, journal it, call a friend about something other than dating. Build a life so full that you don't necessarily need someone else, okay? And if you're avoidant and single, your pattern is probably like get excited about someone, things get real, you find fatal flow, and you end it. You feel relieved, also wonder why you're still single. So here's what to do. Notice your escape patterns, the excuses that you make when things get close, and practice vulnerability in friendships first. Share a real thing per week with a friend, so that it's low stakes and you don't do it in romantic relationships. I feel like it's a bit easier to open up with the friends and practice opening up to people. And when you meet someone new, commit to 5 days before deciding anything, like unless there are actual red flags. And keep a list of the flaws you find in people. This is like what I would used to do. And look at it like, honestly, are these real deal breakers, or are you just like scared of the intimacy? And for couples, it's possible, but it's work. If neither of you is secure, you can still make it work, but I'm gonna be honest, it's not easy, based on research at least. First, you both need to understand your attachment styles and how they trigger each other, okay? And then you need to track your patterns. You need to identify what triggers your attachment system, how you typically react, what it costs you, like fights, disconnection, exhaustion, and what a secure response would look like. I've created a free relationship inventory workbook that walks you through this process, which I learned from the book Attached. It's based on attachment research, but I like really simplified so that you can actually use it. The free workbook is in the description, So whether you're single or partnered, it helps you to map out your patterns and find practical alternatives in the description below. Also, read the book Attached To. It's a really good book. So the step 2 is actually doing something different, which is the hardest part. Because when you are triggered, you need to pause and you need to choose a new response. Like you need to think, how would a secure person react to this, and give that response like every single time. And your partner also needs to do that too, because like becoming secure is more of an ongoing process, and every time there is a conflict or issue, both of you need to pause and not react the way that you're prone to do so. It's like literally retraining your brain. And you can also go to a couples therapy. I have a few friends of mine who went it and they find it like very helpful. It's probably make things way easier than like trying to figure it out on your own. But before you all this work, like ask yourself, is this relationship actually worth it? Because the truth is that just because you do the work doesn't mean they will. This is why most of us don't have healthy relationships, not because we can't find the right person, but good relationships require actual work, daily work, and it's uncomfortable. So both people need to be willing to look at their own patterns honestly, do something even different, even when it's hard, and keep going, even like you mess up. If you're the only one that's trying, it's time to leave, baby. And you know like what breaks my heart? It's not that we can't find love. It's that we are walking around feeling like we're not enough. You know, like we're not worthy of real love. Like we will always be lonely. You probably convince yourself that everyone except you gets love and that there's something fundamentally wrong with you that makes you unlovable. But I don't think that's true. You just learned love from people who didn't know how to love properly either. Maybe your parents, maybe your first relationship, maybe every relationship since then. And now you might be exhausted, right? Like tired of games, tired of wondering why they didn't text back, or tired of losing yourself every time you catch feelings, tired of running away when things get real. I personally really like understand that issue, you know, but what you need to understand is that you are one decision away from changing everything, one decision to stop choosing a familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. So tonight I want you to do this, okay? Delete that person's number. You know which one, okay? The one you check up on even though they never choose you. Let them go. And tomorrow when someone shows you consistent interest, don't run. Like don't find excuses and flaws. Just see what happens. And if you're in a relationship right now, have one honest conversation, okay? Just one, about what you really need. Because somewhere out there, someone wants to love you the way you always needed, without playing games, without the anxiety, without you having to shrink yourself to fit. But they can't find you if you're still hiding behind walls or chasing ghosts. You deserve to be loved in a way that feels like home. Start choosing like you believe that. And that's it. That's the whole secret that I learned. So, attachment style quiz and a workbook is in the description if you need them. It's free. So now go text someone who actually texts you back, okay? See you. Bye.